Hi, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Laurel. I'm Laurel, and in this video we're going to talk about logarithms in business. This is the formula that's used for finding compound interest, and it's something I'm going to talk about in a video coming up. But if I put some numbers in this, for example, if I wanted to know how long it took to double my money, if I invested it into an investment that paid 8% interest compounded annually, when I simplify this equation with those numbers in, I would obtain this equation. And what you will notice is that the variable or the unknown is in the exponent. We've talked about how to solve equations, but we haven't talked about how to solve this type of equation where the unknown is in the exponent position. And this is why we need logarithms. Logarithms will allow us to solve for t. Any positive number can be used as a base for logarithms, but typically you're just going to see base 10 and base e. I'm going to focus on base e, but this might be something you're more familiar with. When you're working with base 10, it's called common logarithms. This is an exponential relationship. It says 10 to some exponent will equal a quantity. We can rewrite that same relationship in log form. So the way we would do that, we would say the exponent is equal to the log base 10 of q. When no base is written, we assume it's base 10. So that's all a logarithm is. It's an exponent. If I find the log of q, I'm saying what must 10 be raised to equal q. So the logarithm of a quantity is simply the exponent to which the base, in this case 10, must be raised to equal that quantity. In business and in science and calculus and engineering and all sorts of applications, you're typically only going to be concerned with natural logarithms. So that's where we're going to focus our attention. The base for natural logarithms is a special number that we represent with the letter e. The value of that number is approximately 2.71828. It goes to many more decimal places than that, but I will just show it to 5 decimal places in this video. But that number has been shown to be connected to a lot of naturally occurring events such as exponential growth and decay, and therefore it becomes a logical choice for a base for logarithms. So again, the notation when it's in exponential form is e raised to some exponent x equals some quantity. And if I were to rewrite that same relationship in log form, it would be x is equal to the natural log ln of q. ln means log base e. Just like when you see log, log, that means log base 10. When you see ln, that means log base e. So when you're finding the natural log of some quantity, you're finding the value to which e must be raised to equal the quantity. Log base 10 seems easier because we're comfortable with a number system that's based on the number 10. This seems more complicated because it's a very awkward number. However, your calculator can find all the natural log values you need. Let's take a look. If you're using the business analyst calculator, the Texas Instrument calculator, you'll notice that your natural log function is here. And if you look at the second function, so the function above it, it's e to the x. So all you're going to do when you're finding the natural log of a number is you're going to enter the number and then you're going to press natural log. So let's try some examples. Let's say we want to find the natural log of 250. Remember, we're finding the exponent to which e must be raised to equal 250. So 250, press natural log, and you should get 5.52146. Let's try the next one, natural log of 15. The natural log of 15 is 2.70805. So again, that's what e must be raised to equal 15. Now let's try the natural log of 0.75. What you will notice is that you get a negative value. And that's going to happen when your number or your quantity is less than 1. It's saying that e has to be raised to a negative exponent to equal a quantity less than 1. Again, let's try this example. The natural log of 0.002 is negative 6.21461, which is expected because this quantity is less than 1, so we should get a negative exponent. When the quantity is greater than 1, we will get a positive exponent. Now try this one on your calculator. What's the natural log of 1? You should get a 0. And that's because e, or any base raised to the power of 0, will equal 1. Now we're going to talk about properties of logarithms. We've already mentioned this in our example. The natural log of 1 is equal to 0. The next property says that if we have the natural log of a product, x times y in this case, that will be equivalent to the natural log of x plus the natural log of y. I'm just going to do an example so that you can see that this property works. Let's say we have the natural log of 5 times 6. According to this property, this should be equal to the natural log of 5 plus the natural log of 6. Let's find those values and add them. Natural log of 5 is 1.60944. Natural log of 6 is 1.79176. And when I add those values, I get 3.40120. I want to point out that when I'm doing this calculation, I'm using the actual values on my calculator. These are rounded off. So when I add the ones on my calculator. And if your calculator is in AOS format, in other words, it follows order of operations, you could just simply type 5 natural log plus 6 natural log equals. And so you don't have to show this intermediate step. Let's do a check. 5 times 6 is 30. If I find the natural log of 30, I will get the very same value, 3.40120 rounded off. The next property says that the natural log of a quotient, in this case x divided by y, will be equal to the natural log of the numerator minus the natural log of the denominator. Again, let's do an example just to illustrate this. So if I had the natural log of 1,000 divided by 10, according to this property, that will be equal to the natural log of 1,000 minus the natural log of 10. Let's find those values and subtract. There's the natural log of 1,000, there's the natural log of 10, subtract, and we get 4.60517. Let's check that. 1,000 divided by 10 is 100. If we were to punch in the natural log of 100, we would get the same value. Fourth property says the natural log of a power, in this case x raised to the power of y, will equal y times the natural log of x. Let's take a look at an example to show that this actually works. Let's take 5 cubed. And according to this property, this should be equal to 3 times the natural log of 5. Natural log of 5 is this value multiplied by 3, and this will be our final answer. Again, I'm using the value on my calculator, not the one I wrote down, just to keep it exact. Let's do a check. 5 cubed is 125. When you type in natural log of 125, you will get 4.82831 as well. This is the property that you're going to find very, very useful when solving exponential equations like the example I did at the beginning. I am going to talk about solving equations like this and compound interest formula in a future video, but if you're curious, I'll go through and show you how you would solve this equation. Your first step is you're going to take the natural log of both sides of the equation, which is you're allowed to do. So I'm going to take the natural log of 2, and that will be equal to the natural log of 1.08 to the power of t. Because of that fourth property, I can take the t out of the exponent position. Remember, that's going to be equal to t times the natural log of 1.08. In order to isolate or solve for t, I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by natural log of 1.08. So t will equal the natural log of 2 divided by the natural log of 1.08. So the natural log of 2 is this value, the natural log of 1.08 is this value, and then when you do the division you get 9.0065. Hopefully this helps you understand logarithms a little bit more and be comfortable using that function on your calculator.